Hi everyone, I'm attorney Vince Hein, and in this video I'm going to answer the question, how long does probate take? Well, first off, it depends on the county you're in, for example. So in Jefferson County, the court gives you 18 months to complete a probate. Other counties still stick with 12 months. Now, it doesn't mean you take the full 12 months, but the idea is if a court's giving you that long to do it, it's probably not going to be a fast-moving process. So that's something I have to explain to clients quite often. The other thing to remember is you can have a probate that is 90% done, but is still kind of dragging on because maybe you're waiting for a tax return to be finished or something like that before you can make the final distribution. Now, as for the probate process, first we have to get the probate open, and so we would file an application as well as a proof of heirship and some other documents to get it open. And then after that, we submit a notice to creditors to the local paper, and that runs once a week for 3 weeks. And it essentially says, hey, if you think the person who died owes you money, you've got to file a claim or you're going to get essentially cut out. So once the notice to creditors is filed, creditors will have more than 90 days, but less than 120 days to file a claim. That will be specified the last day to file a claim in the notice to creditors. Now, that doesn't necessarily apply to the government, so if taxes are owed, that doesn't cut them off. But my point is, in terms of how long the process takes, once we get the probate open and file that notice to creditors, most of the time we're in a bit of a holding pattern at that point because we want to see, do we have any creditors who are going to pop up unexpectedly? Now, once that period has passed, and doesn't mean we wait until it passes, we can be doing things kind of along the way, but then around the 6-month mark, or at the 6-month mark rather, the inventory should be filed with the county. Now, the inventory is not necessarily all the assets, but it's all of the probate assets at the time of death and their respective values. And then after that, depending on the county again, Jefferson gives 18 months, most counties give 12, but then you've got 6 more months to essentially wrap it up. And you get to get receipts for any debts that were paid, get receipts for any distributions to beneficiaries, and then you'll file to close the probate. And so again, even if it takes 12 months or 18 months to wrap up the probate, what I frequently do is a partial distribution where we pay out to the beneficiaries a large chunk of the probate, and then we wait to do the final distribution until whatever final matters are wrapped up. Generally, we're waiting on the Wisconsin Department of Revenue or a tax preparer or something like that. So the short answer here is a probate can take a year or longer. I would say a fast probate would still probably be in the 6 to 8 month range. But again, just because a probate isn't finished doesn't mean it's not almost all the way done. So a lot of times the probate is 85, 90% done, but you're kind of waiting on that last little thing, and then you wrap up the final bits after that. So not a fast process. That's why estate planners typically emphasize staying out of probate. That said, it's not the end of the world. It's a predictable process, but it does take quite a bit of time. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something about probate in Wisconsin and how long it takes. I'm attorney Vince Hein with Hein Law Office. Thank you.